How do SMEs respond to a talent crunch? I think this is a reality that all of us in the SME world would face ourselves to. The constant challenge and the constant responding to how do we attract the best talent? How do we retain our best too? I think at Rohe there are three areas that we look into intentionally. The first way that we look into responding to this is hiring staff who are both flexible as well as adaptable. And what we mean by flexibility is able to take on or try things outside of their core competency or what they studied. When we talk about adaptability, it's really a growth mindset. How do you learn? How do you have the keenness to really want to get better each time? I think SMEs go through different seasons of our organization cycle, and at each different season we need different roles to show up more. And I think about my colleague Denise. She was hired first as a guest experience executive and really did well there. She had the gift of hospitality, made everyone feel so welcome and important at all times. And so when there was a need for a new project manager, I think it was quite unanimous. And we approached her, hey Denise, would you like to take on this role? And she said yes, to our delight. So in the years, she started really honing and responding to the JDs of what's required of a project manager. And she did really well, and just this past year promoted her to assistant head of this project management team. I think the second response would be just how do we at Rohe bridge the middle level gap? One of the ways would be for our leaders, because again predisposition of wanting to help, wanting to serve, wanting to help other people progress, and thus we take on the load of the middle manager levels. An example is our colleague Sharon. She has been client-facing and learners-facing for the last many years, but in the recent year we redeployed her to a role of being a master trainer, training the newer consultants to help them increase capability and capacity. And that has worked really well, and the reason why we can do that is because I think our senior leaders or more experienced managers are able to roll out their sleeves and not be afraid or not whine or complain about doing a role that perhaps they were not tasked to do. So I think that the collaboration and the integration of the senior leaders as well as the young managers together has helped us bridge that. The third area that we look into in order to counteract this talent crunch is really the culture again, going back to doing life in the community. You have to realize that we all have different life roles we play. So looking at my staff, if I look at Alvin, who's our senior consultant, he's first also a father to 3 boys. He's a great husband to his wife P, and he's also a good son, and he plays different roles, and we need to come alongside. There was one incident at last minute, his father had to go to the hospital. The rest of the consultants came in and said, okay, let me take on your role, let me help you in that particular program. I think that as a workforce, we are not called to do things alone. We're not called to isolation. I think that there is flourishing when the community can do things together and stand by and be with one another. So yeah, I hope that helps as we continue to explore ways in which we can not just attract talent, but retain our great people within and look at ways to also level their skills up, promote and cause them to do well both at the home front and the work front. So with that, I thank you, and I will see you at the next episode.